like you just took a do-rag off. I can't. I ain't even. It's too much. You're too real for me right now.
Yeah, I mean, my story is I grew up in the South Bronx, born and raised in Soundview, bounced around Castle Hill, Dogs Neck Houses, Parkchester. And for myself, growing up, like my family was kind of ratchet. They were kind of.
Isn't everybody?
Well, my family was a little extra with it. They were like they had to take the Olympic level ratchetness. Like,
they got a medal?
They got some steel.
Oh Lord, yeah, tell us about
yeah, to be honest, like me coming up, like, see, I'm real about everything. Like, I'm a nerd. I'm proud of that because like where my uncles were going and my cousins were going, I was like, that ain't me. So like my uncles were in the drug game. My mom was doing credit card scams. She had to skate to Florida because of certain issues. You know, people.
You were serious.
Yeah, things were heavy for me growing up.
Damn.
But you know, I came through it. Went to college, got my degree. I'm going back, learning to be a teacher. Stuff. So I'm doing other stuff. I mean, I love MCing. I love what the music, what I could always do in my room was write. So that's where it came from.
That's definitely, I mean, that's where the craft starts anyway.
Yeah.
And that's dope. You come through all that and, you know, you want to be a teacher. It's commendable to deal with these kids.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, right now I work as a counselor. So, like, being able to catch people before they kind of fall into that pattern is kind of where I'm at. And wanting to get into the classroom a little bit and get kids some, like, hope and guidance is where I'm at right now.
Cool. So when you filtered that, like, that passion for writing, how did it, like, translate over into music? Like, what was the aha moment?
Well, for me, it was like when I was growing up, I used to write stories, and then it just became the stories would start to rhyme, and I was like, oh, let me play with it. I was always the kid that would rap in class, rap in the hallways and stuff. And I didn't really take it serious at first. I had a couple of songs that my friends just were like, oh, come record with us and stuff. And they kind of did some viral damage back in the day. Mm-hmm. So then I was like, you know what? Let me really give this a shot, see what I can do with it.
Dope. So your shirt paying homage to Biggie, is that your favorite rapper?
It's either Biggie or Nas. It's always like a toss-up for me.
My baby daddy.
You ain't even have to go. You ain't have to go.
I'm
so
sorry.
As far as, do you feel like there's a correlation between what you want to do musically and you like teaching kids?
I mean, for me, what I try to do with my music is I try to make it sound fun. Because the thing is, like, I have friends that are dope, that are good MCs. But if you preach to people too hard, it's like their brains shut down and they don't hear you
push them away.
So like even like with Bad Decisions, if you listen to the whole track, you hear me talking about this girl and like the girl's doing me wrong, but at the same time I kind of related to her father leaving her. So that way you kind of see this deeper level that something's affecting her and stuff. So it's like you listen to the track, it's like, oh, it sounds like an A$AP Rocky song,
Right.
Good.
Oh.
Right, but there's a message.
But there's a message. Like there's always these little things I try to slide in.
What if you in a classroom one day and a kid is acting out and making noise? You just gonna give him pause real quick? Not for real. You gonna go up to him. I say, yo,
just put my mic on.
Yeah, just
You're gonna be like, I said, yo, sit your ass down.
You gotta give me a quick 16 if you're gonna be acting out.
Like, hold that now.
Because everybody know how to do the grinding beat on the table. So
Oh yeah, that was the beat back in the day.
that was the lunchroom
That was the
special.
lunchroom beat right there.
Breath smelling like school pizza, just going off like grind. That was it.
Yeah.
Let me pay some bills real quick. Tonight's Pace the Pulse, our interview segment here on Voiceless Music Radio with Mr. Jimmy ValenTime, brought to you by the Build Your Brand Drop on Top presents Joel Santana live in the Chance up in Poughkeepsie on February 27th. Win tickets tonight. Yes, call in 929-227-4646. Call in and win tickets to see Joel Santana at the Chance. If anything, I won't give away. I'll do 2 tickets. You know, I'll get one for one person now, probably between now and 11. I'll do another one at 11 o'clock. No, I ain't giving that news yet. Wait for that, bro.
Wait,
Damn,
hold on. What news? They always leave me out, guys. Tweet them and tell them to stop being so unfair.
Jimmy, just ignore them. Just know her. Just know her right there. Know her right there. But what I wanted to mention, anyway, don't give me the email. What I wanted to mention is the fact that when Jimmy hit me up, the first thing I found was this very, very dope Nas. Oh my God.
My baby daddy.
Okay, please explain to the people who are not like me, who are fans of music and enjoy the music, that people post, especially when it's a tribute track.
Yeah.
What went into that song?
Well, that song's a couple of years old. Like I did, I have 2 albums. I did an album with my crew, the Lost Angels, and I had an album called Life in Amazing Time. So my first album, I really tried to show all my influences. Like you had the Common Sense kind of references, the Jay Dilla kind of references. With the Nas song, I wanted to do something like I didn't want to rap over a single because everybody kind of does that when they pay tribute to an artist.
Right.
So I decided to do Take It in Blood because it's my favorite song. I feel like it's his most lyrical song, and also his flow is crazy on it. And then I was able to, the whole first verse, I'm just talking about my life. Like I'm talking about that when I was like 11, I tried to be a Latin king and they told me, nah, you know, just being real. Nah, just being real.
They told me nah.
You know, because it's like I'm half Dominican and then I'm half Spanish from Spain, but I look Italian. That's where my name comes from. I just decided, let me pick a name that people can be like, oh, he's white. That kind of gets out of it because you see the name a little bit. So that was one of the things I rap on the song. I go, I wanted to be a Latin king, but I had Roman features. I remember when I was a kid, my aunt was like, you look like a Roman soldier and stuff. So I kind of tried to tie all these little pieces together. Like I said, my uncle's in the kitchen, they're cooking up ether. You know, that was my life at one point.
Are they supporting your music right now? Like how are they like influencing you at this moment?
My family, you know, I love them to death. It's one of these things where it's like we're at a place where we're cool, we're at peace, and it's good. Like, you know, everybody's kind of grown out of their ratchetness a little bit. Everyone's kind of matured. You know, certain situations they put me through, they were like, you know, I'm sorry for putting you through that and stuff. But like, it's never gonna be 100% like a happy family situation, you know?
It never is.
And you know, I think the one thing, we've had several artists that come up here, and we always ask that same question about how family feels. I think it's more of an emphasis thrown when you become a rapper, because generally the generalization is you're going to be involved in drugs and deal with a whole bunch of people that obviously don't do legal stuff, and you always automatically be this rebel to the family.
Nah, it's kind of the opposite, because like most of my friends are conscious rappers.
Nice.
And it's like, you know, like when you were talking about the Geraldo Rivera situation, one of my homeboys is YC the Cynic from Hunts Point, and they literally quoted him in AM New York talking about how can hip-hop be the most damaging thing when there isn't good education, when there isn't good housing policies, when there's things that really affect people. Like, and
this is what you want to talk about.
Rap is a symptom of people not having access and not having hope. Right. And even kids like Chief Keef and Bobby Shmurda, they're kids. We really should be trying to like reach out to them, kind of connect with them, be like, hey, you know, you're going through something. Let's try to get you to a place where you understand what you're living through. Right. Because it's one of those things
like
that kind
of true counselor.
Yeah, you know, because it's one of those things kind of like what I loved about hip hop was when people rap about hard shit, they wouldn't rap about it like it was fun. That kind of hip hop kind of lost that. Like if you listen to Prodigy or Scarface, it wasn't fun. They wasn't having a good time hurting people or hurting themselves or doing shit that was destructive. And you want that in the hip hop because you want to show other people like this has a consequence. You know, it's not I caught a body a week ago and I do a funny dance. It's I go to murder trial now.
Right.
Like I gotta pay these lawyer fees right now.
That was real.
A little broke.
I will say one thing, in the fact that you mentioned conscious rap. It's I don't want to say it's a dying breed, because there's so much more into being a trapper rapper these days, or so much more being into a commercial mainstream. You know, what else is there? Ringtone type of rapper.
I kind of disagree with that, only because the only rappers that sell are ones with content right now. Like J. Cole sold like 700,000.
Oh my God, what a dope album!
He just the way he marketed like his album. He's just that dude is a force.
And it's just so. God, it's so good. Like it's just like really you could listen when you can listen to an album from cover to cover.
It's an album. It's not a bunch of singles.
Right. And it's just that doesn't happen. And matter of fact, it's a body of work. When you can listen to something like that and he took the time, you could tell and put his everything into it and did it, no features. I'm gonna do this myself, and if it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. And he's come so far because, you know, he said before when he tried to do an album with no singles, he got pulled to the side. Like, listen, you got to learn how to write singles. That's why he was doing the thing with Miguel and all that stuff.
That's what comes back to the whole indie versus being signed thing. You have 100% creative control when it's your project. Yeah. But you have to have content with it. Like, if you're a Chief Keef or Bobby Shmurda and you go to these labels, you may want to do something more conscious, but they're looking at dollar signs.
Yeah.
You can't be in a club telling people that we have to be more educated and we have to eat better. And
I mean, there's ways to do it. You just gotta find that.
There has to be a median.
It's like you gotta find it's really about the beat and stuff, because that's the thing. People, conscious rap's a little sleepy sometimes. You just gotta find the right.
You can't twerk to Talib Kweli, and that's why they keep them out of clubs.
It's definitely a reality. It's sad because even when you have more so like Nas, conscious rappers doing stuff, some people don't even take it seriously. Like, what was that song? I know I can't be what I want to be. People didn't take that song serious.
But it was
a
big record.
But
it was a lot of records.
Amazing. Yeah. But nobody will do that right now.
Yeah.
Like, name artists that really will do that right now.
Kendrick.
Well, Kendrick.
Kendrick's kind of.
But I think people are doing it more now to follow like the happy thing that Pharrell did. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of more like, it's not the popular thing to do. And it takes so much slack before it gets popular that it's like you won't hear it till like 3 months later and you're like, oh yeah.
It's going to become.
That is kind of dope.
It's going to become trendy. It just, do people actually take the message away from it? Like you said before, the things that people were rapping about before were Prodigy. That was the struggle, and that was how to get out of it. Yeah. And that was being glorified. It has to get back to the point where. Yeah.
The whole thing is like, you can talk about street shit. Like, I grew up around street shit, and I respect it, and I respect people that have to go through that still, and that are trying to figure out like what I do with myself after I do this. But it's like, it's got to have that weight. If it can't look like a video game, it's not if you've ever seen somebody get shot, that's not a video. They don't get back up.
Right. And that's what it's taken. Like, it's taken as a game or something cute to do or something cute to talk about. And rappers used to get called out on stuff when stuff wasn't like, so like you really didn't go through that. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, does anybody even care if they went through it or not? Or does it sound like it's hot 16?
It's about capital gain now. You have the rappers who should be like the grandfathers or who should be the mentors of the game. They're just trying to stay hot. When Bobby Shmurda, when Hot Nigga came out, it was like somebody should have put this kid under the wing, and it's like, well, listen, this is how the game is supposed to be. No, it's let me get a 16 because I need some show money.
Yeah,
true.
It's a broken industry.
The thing is, like, kids have an energy that's really easy to draw from, but at the same time, like, for a rapper to be successful and actually have a career, it makes more sense when they're older. Like, if you look at Jay-Z, he didn't really get hot till 27.
Right.
You look at 50, he didn't get hot till 29. Both of them had lived through their shit.
Yeah, the life experiences change, and it speaks through your music.
And then you can speak about it with a little bit of distance, and you're not in the middle of it.
Right, living it at that moment. Because wasn't it when we was interviewing, who did we interview that was talking about something like that?
In regards to...
Like, being in that life and not really... recognizing was Dylon, and he was like how he said he was riding around with guns and stuff and smoking weed back then, and he was like looking back now like that shit was kind of crazy, like I would never like handle myself that way. And he said my situation could have easily been like Bobby Shmurda's situation then, and it's true. But when you're living a life and you have no guidance, then you kind of put yourself out there prematurely when you probably could have been branded. They don't even take the time to kind of brand artists anymore. Certain ones in certain industries, but not in hip hop.
Yeah.
And it's sad because it starts to feel like, honestly, and it was this topic I'm going to bring up later tonight. What's the point of going major if the major ain't going to do nothing for you that you can't do for yourself?
Right.
I mean, I have kind of I'm 50-50 about it. I feel like you have to be in a situation, you have to have a team that can negotiate with the major to give you the access that you don't have as an indie artist. Like, A$AP Rocky has a good team behind it, and their situation is that MCA, they basically give the record to MCA, and then MCA does the other stuff to go to international, because you
like the distribution,
and also like you can't get on a TV show in Germany being an indie rapper, Like I have when my first album, because my first album has more of like a Jay Dilla Common Sense feel. It was big in Germany, but I couldn't get to Germany because I didn't have the money to get on a plane and do it.
Right, the allure is the money and
you need
exposure.
access and stuff. The thing is, like, you have to have the right team. You have to have people that are fighting for you. Like, you can't trust that anybody that you didn't come up with has your best interest at heart.
Very true.
Right.
All right, well, I do got some music from you, Jimmy, that I want to play tonight. Tell me a little bit about Bad Decisions.
All right. Bad Decisions is a record. It's actually a few years old. It came through in many different versions. I had a group called the Lost Angels. That was the last single for that album. Basically, my crew, one of my peoples got caught up in a case. We couldn't do the video because he was out of state and couldn't fly in. So basically, we didn't get to do any videos for that project. And I was like, this song is hot. I wrote the hook, I wrote the first verse, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna take this as a single for my album because I felt like I can't just let it sit, because I felt like it was such a good record. It was like, it's one of the best records I've ever written. And it's like, it's a full song, because the thing is, I can MC, and if you listen to everything on my SoundCloud, you'll see I can really rap. But this is it's got a hook, it's got a bridge, it's got a nice beat. Like, you can listen to it, and if the message, hopefully the third or fourth time you listen to it, the message seeps in, but hopefully the hook catches you or the beat catches you.
Nice. And the song that brought Jimmy to here to Voices Music Radio, the one I became a big fan of, tell them a little bit about Winter Is Mine.
Winter Is Mine, that's a little more of an ignorant song. I basically that's
what I like.
I'll be honest. The whole idea was, rappers always talk about, yo, the summer's mine. I'm taking over the summer.
Right.
I got the summer lot. I'm like, I'm gonna take the season that nobody wants and run with that. That's my season.
When you listen to it, you can tell it's like, winter's mine too.
Yeah, the thing is, like, oh, that girl summer, she fine, but the winter's mine. And even like on my mixtape, I have this whole song about that. I'm going to a girl's house and just staying over all the whole weekend because it's snowing, and watching her Netflix and drinking her alcohol and stuff. Just like a playful song on my mixtape called Heaven Has a Price. So just kind of like a little bit of playfulness. And also, like, I reference a couple of different things on the song. I reference Snow from Informer, the Canadian reggae.
Nice.
And I reference Stack Bundles and stuff, because that was like the last hardcore New York rapper that I really loved. Because I thought he had that mix of being smart and having good hooks. Like, that's one of those things I miss in kind of like street hip hop is there's not a lot of great smart rappers.
Right.
I feel like you can rap about anything you want, but you need to rap with your brain also.
Very true, very true. So you can look at the camera right there and see the whole blue area right there. Just go ahead and introduce Winter Is Mine to the world.
All right, everybody. This is Winter Is Mine, produced by Nuo the Kid, and check it out.
Right here, Voice Music Radio. Let's go.
Summer, she's fine, but the winter is mine. The winter is mine. Yeah, winter is mine. Yeah, that girl. Summer, she's fine, but the winter is mine. The winter is mine. Winter is mine. Yeah, that girl. Summer, she's fine, but the winter is mine. The winter is mine. Yeah, winter is mine. Yeah, that girl. Summer, she's fine, but the winter is mine. The winter is mine. Winter is mine. Bitch, I'm cold, yeah, I'm cold. Get some gloves, put on the stove. Stack on the floor, throw on some clothes. Rappers, informers, up for parole. Cops on patrol, feeling like snow. City in my hand, shaking the globe. The time bomb, about to explode. Yeah, you don't even know. Try to be the hero, that shit took its toll. Life like a snowball, I'm still on a roll. Bigger than nice car drove. Rappers in all rose gold. The floor that puts city on hold. Winter's mine, I'm taking control. Winter's mine, I'm taking control. Winter's mine, I'm taking control. Yeah, that girl, summer, she's fine, but the winter is mine. The winter is mine. Yeah, winter is mine. Yeah, that girl, summer, she's fine, but the winter is mine. The winter is mine. Winter is mine. Yeah, that girl, summer, she's fine, but the winter is mine. The winter is mine. Yeah, winter is mine. Yeah, that girl, summer, she's fine, but the winter is mine. The winter is mine. Winter is mine. Let it snow. Let it snow. Let it go, let it go. Let it snow, let it snow. Let it go, let it go. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Let it go, let it go. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Yeah, that girl, summer, she fine, but the winter is mine. The winter is mine. Yeah, winter is mine. Yeah, that girl, summer, she fine, but the winter is mine. The winter is mine. Winter is mine.
Yeah, that girl, summer, she fine, but the winter is mine.
Yeah,
winter is mine. Yeah, that girl, summer, she fine, but the winter is mine.
Yeah,
winter is mine.
decision. Quick fuck, bad decision. Good weed, bad decision. Drunk drive, bad decision. Snort coke, bad decision. Quick fuck, bad decision. Good weed, bad decision. Drunk drive, bad decision. Snort coke, bad decision. Quick fuck, bad decision. Good weed, bad decision. Drunk drive, bad decision. Snort coke, bad decision. Quick fuck, bad decision. Bad decisions. How you living, how you living, how you living. Bad decision, bad decision, bad decisions. How you living, how you living, how you living.
Good weed, bad decision. Drunk drive, bad decision. Snort coke, bad decision. Quick fuck, bad decision. Good weed, bad decision. Drunk drive, bad decision. Snort coke, bad decision. Quick fuck, bad decision. Bad decision, bad decision, bad decision, bad decision.
Oh.
Yo, that's
DJ Mastermind.
I heard you scratching in the background. It was serious.
Me? Nah, that wasn't me. That was
Earlier.
John. That was John.
What? You know how to work the controls?
That was DJ Mainstream.
He probably got a paper cut back there trying to scratch back there.
He got scratch academy skills, okay?
Lies.com.
Sky been out here hustling with Rev Run, man.
Wait, so I can't find you on Instagram anymore because it was DJ Mastermind, the DJ Mastermind,
I'm
Mr.
convinced
Mastermind,
Mainstream.
Captain Mastermind.
I'm convinced that Mainstream is a drug lord, and he has to keep switching up his aliases.
For real, I don't understand it either. I can't find him.
It sounds like you got blocked. And
oh, that's.
Why don't you go over there?
No, I'm not going.
What?
Basketball, shut the fuck up. Straight up, can I make my point right now that we're about to have a historic moment in voice music? Shut the fuck up. Voice music radio history.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Listening.
Jimmy, are you ready to perform
This
live here
nigga.
in air?
Yeah.
On
Just
air?
all I need is one mic. So
Oh,
All right, Nas.
One mic.
basically, you know what, Mastermind? Since you came late, give Jimmy your mic.
Wapping?
Since you came late, give Jimmy your mic.
Oh yeah, shut him up.
Because that's the better, that's the performance mic.
Gotcha.
We got already here on Voice Music.
Why
Radio.
don't you get your ass in the corner?
basically, the reason I wanted to do a song over a freestyle or anything like that was I'm doing a show first Friday of March, Famous in Bushwick. The information will be on my Instagram as soon as I know the actual club that we're doing it at. And I wanted to give people a chance to see what it's like being at a Jimmy ValenTime show. This song is kind of the fun closer song. It's called If You Want To. It basically ties a bunch of my influences together in a funny way.
And I'm the hype man. If nobody told you.
Actually, you know what? If when the hook comes back around, if everybody does the hook together, that's what I usually do at my show. So that'll be fun.
Oh, dope.
It's lit.
All right. Can I?
Yeah, we pull the camera enough for you so you can go right there too.
All right. Let me see if I can get this bad
Gotta
boy
get some
move a
slack.
little bit. Yeah, because I jump around a little bit when I perform.
And I'm gonna do.
Uh.
I like to do. Sit down.
You gonna record it?
Huh? Of course.
Uh.
Where my phone at?
All right.
My phone over there.
All right. You can kick in the beat whenever you need it.
All right. So let me give it's the song there says "If You Want To."
Yeah.
Can you pass me
You
the
want me
mic?
to man the other camera for you real quick?
Yeah, that would be great. Actually, thank you so much.
Is it on?
Yeah. All right. So, as I was trying to tell everybody, and this is the little speech I always do before I go into this song, 'cause it's a little different than the rest of the tracks, is, I consider myself a conscious rapper. I like to teach people things. I like to show people things. I like to put a deeper understanding. But this song that you're about to hear is for the motherfucking money, and it's ignorant as hell.
Ladies and gentlemen, live here on Voice Music Radio, FLO Empire Radio. It's If You Want To, Jimmy ValenTime. Let's go.
All right, put it loud, man. Put it loud. Jay Dilla, we're about to go get him again. This song is for the motherfucking money, yo. Girl, you can dance if you want to, but you ain't getting shit from me. BDP used to tell me that the pussy was free. Girl, you can dance if you want to, but you ain't getting shit from me. BDP used to tell me that the pussy was free. And we can dance, we can have a good time. But you try to touch my money, you're not a friend of mine. Like battle rappers, we're just here to grind. Smoke some weed and drink some wine. The name is Jimmy ValenTime. Heaven knows never been hard to find. Turn off the lights, can't stop the shine. Song make you mad, pay it no mind. Girl, you can dance if you want to, but you ain't getting shit from me. BDP used to tell me that the pussy was free. Now girl, you can dance if you want to, but you ain't getting shit from me. BDP used to tell me that the pussy was free. Now build it up, break it down. I got all these people off the ground. They going crazy, hear the sound. Got them coming from miles around. The most hated, the most copied. My haters can never stop me. Indiana Jones to you Nazis. Take a flick of me, paparazzi. Dance break. Oh, you can dance if you want to, but you ain't getting shit from me. BDP used to tell me that the pussy was free. Now girl, you can dance if you want to, but you ain't getting shit from me. BDP used to tell me that the pussy was free. You can dance if you want to.
Let's go, Jimmy.
Just a little preview for my next show coming first Friday of March.
And he gonna bust that shmoney dance the same way, ladies. So be ready.
Jimmy, that was dope. That was dope. Master, I'll give Master his mic back now.
That was one of my favorite samples, Quiet as Kept. Can you tell us where the sample was from for the people who don't know anything about 80s pop?
Right.
This is a track they found in Dilla's hard drive when they were pulling out stuff from Donut. It's a Donut folder, but not from the album.
The dope part is the fact that from what I've heard as far as musical wise and speaking to you now, you're literally like one of the rare few, like a historian about hip hop. Like you know your shit.
The thing was, like, for me, I'm from like the 90s era to early 2000 era.
Right.
You had to know, like, people would test you, like, oh, you like hip hop? What about this? What about that? Like, people would try to, like, especially
based on how you look. I'm pretty sure they probably hit you with a Wigger card and you had to speak Spanish. Like, mira, let's
I had to do that a lot.
My uncles cook cracks, son.
Honestly, whenever I would tell people who my uncles were, they always kind of back off.
That's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
But that's tough because you gotta have that history behind you, to kind of push the music.
But honestly,
forward.
for me, it's like I like it, and I honestly was one of these people. I didn't have a great home structure, so some of the OGs I met in hip hop, like I had a good relationship with Kool Herc growing up. Like
rest in peace, Kool Herc.
And I knew a bunch of other people like embraced me and stuff, and it was one of those things that like Dallas Penn, who does the Combat Jack show, used to do the Combat Jack show. He's somebody like I consider kind of a mentor and stuff, who I built with for years. So it's like I got kind of a sense of family from hip hop.
Nice. Yeah, and that's honestly how music brings everybody together.
Yeah,
because it's you can not know somebody from the hole in the wall, but you like that song too, and from there just builds.
Yeah,
and
it's one of those
things.
Hip hop, like when people try to attack it, it's one of those things that breaks my heart because like hip hop has done more to bring young people together.
Absolutely.
And show people this. Like I sometimes worry about that, like because as I got older, I met more mainstream white folks. just to say it like that, like more, just to say it like that and stuff. And it's like Anthony Fantano, who does a YouTube reviews. He's a big YouTube reviewer. I went to one of his events, and he's cool, and I feel like he's done the knowledge, but his fans were sitting around talking about Chief Keef like he's like Michael Myers, not realizing that that's a kid. That's a person.
Right.
I was like, but it's one of those things that hopefully, if you like the music and you dance to the music, you'll want to learn more. You'll want to seek other people out, get that experience. Some people aren't going to be like that, but hopefully, the more mature person will.
But there's a background to everything, and I feel like the greatest hip hop artists. Personally, I'm a huge fan of storytellers, so I feel like if you can paint a picture and you can actually tell us where you're coming from, you get a better understanding of exactly why the sound comes like that. Like you go to Chicago, it's rough out there.
Yeah.
You know, so these are kids, and that's what they know.
Yeah.
You know, like I grew up kind of crazy too. Me and Miss JV, we from the same neighborhood, East Harlem, and it's like I'm from the same block as Alpo, and I remember being a kid and people were getting dropped, and there was crack vials everywhere. And
I still remember the little
colorful.
My grandma
you try to pick it up.
Don't touch that.
You try to pick it up in the playground, and your mother start going off. You know, but
I'm like, but it's colorful. I want to play.
Yeah, I could put some toys in it. No, you can't. There was already a toy in it. Like,
that was a cereal box prize you didn't want.
That's what
definitely was.
Right.
And kids don't see that reality right now.
No,
that shit is not as blatant.
But there's another side to the spectrum, because these kids these days, they have more access to way more things than we have.
Yeah.
But they don't look for it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like it's really up to us as an older generation to kind of show, like, this is what kids don't even have to go outside anymore. You sit in the house on your iPad and on your computer, and they don't actually have to speak to each other. No. Remember memorizing phone numbers?
That shit was
I remember.
That shit made you smart in math.
Right, exactly. Shit. Like, how many phone numbers do you know right now by heart?
Like my mama's and my
Niggas used to
brother.
be like, what's 9 times 2? I don't know, but I remember all my whole block phone numbers.
Exactly. And that's the divide.
How my phone died is over. Like they don't even emergency contact.
Right, but that's the divide, and I feel like
remember
it's technology.
In high school, I had a little shoebox of every girl's number I ever got.
Pimpin'.
I was so like, that was my little thing, you know.
See, I wasn't doing it like that in high school. I would have had a baby sock with like two
I had a composition notebook with every one number in the back.
Oh, yeah, I was pimping.
Damn.
Yeah, I was pimping.
I wasn't allowed to talk to boys on the phone. My mom
boy, you.
That ends that. My mother's crazy. So
it's all
barely.
good. You wasn't missing anything. I have to get into our topic of discussion. Discussion this week. This is tonight's Voices Corner. Tonight's Voices Corner is brought to you by Voices Music Records' own Juanito Jones. His new single, "You Belong to Me," is currently out there. Please pick it up. tinyurl.com/Juanito. Belong iTunes. Everybody knows what's going on with Lil Wayne, right? Pretty much, it's no secret. Lil Wayne is done with Cash Money. Him and Baby have been back and forth. All the rumors, discussions
is over.
They're such queens.
The romance is over. That's dope. I'm gonna put that out there too. Everything is pretty much basically I've gone to the shit. But at this point, let's flip it on another side, which is what our question is tonight. With his label issue, does it feel good to be a real great time to be an independent artist?
Absolutely.
That's my open question to the world. There's 929-227-4646. Call in. Jimmy, start with you. You're the artist here.
I mean, I feel like it's one of those things of, I did my first album and I'm doing my second album on my own, and it's a little bit like being a one-man army. Like, I do the artwork, I do the press releases, and I've hired other people to kind of start doing some of that stuff without me having to watch over their back. But I would say it's great if you can do a situation where you can build some momentum and then be able to have access to the world. But that access is hard because, there's thousands of people fighting for it to be heard. And there's hundreds of dope artists. Like, you can go, and people always go, oh, hip hop is so whack now, hip hop is so repetitive. The radio is repetitive, but the radio is programmed now that people only listen to it for like 20 minutes, so they try to keep the same 20 minutes going on and on and on.
Sure.
Right. So there's a lot of good shit going on, and it's easy as going into YouTube or SoundCloud and looking it up.
Right.
But the thing is that access to get people who don't sit there and search for new music every day or don't look for things every single day, that's a little more tricky. Like, if you're somebody like Drake and Wayne are gonna be fine once they go independent because they can literally they have the millions to record their albums, and they put it on iTunes.
Really.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like you saw what Drake did. They just put it on iTunes and it sold 500,000 copies.
Right. First week, right.
So it's one of those things, like, you need a good team. I think that's more important than anything right now. You have to have people that believe in you, that understand what you're about, that hear what you're about, and that will push you as hard as a major. If you have a situation like that, then you're good. If you don't, I understand. Like the major thing I've kind of always like I had a few chances earlier on when I had more like gimmicky records that I did when I was younger to kind of go that route. But I was like, I don't feel like they understand if I want to do something a little more meaningful. So I didn't go with them. And I'm happy about that, but same time, sometimes I wish I had that access to not have to sit there and send emails on my own and make phone calls on my own and stuff. Because that kind of takes away from being the creative. Like I literally, the way I set up this album a little different than last album was, last year was all the creative shit. Like I did all the work for everything. This year's all the business shit. So that way I don't gotta sit there and try to make studio time and figure all that stuff out while sending emails and doing phone calls and setting up interviews. Right. I set up my album on a 2-year cycle. So basically my first year was just doing all the creative stuff. So that way all the creative stuff is done. And like even
second year is like promo.
Second year is promo and second year is all business.
Right. That's smart. That's definitely a smart business model.
Miss JV, you're feeling currently with
Me?
the whole Lil Wayne issue. Yes, you.
Well, first of all, they're being such queens right now. It's just so ridiculous.
You tried it, girl.
No, it's just so ridiculous. But, you know, I mean, it is what it is. It was bound to happen. First of all, again, it's still a business. And that's probably where he's coming from. And Lil Wayne.
But, you know, Baby has never been a fair businessman either.
No. But see, that's the thing. When you close to somebody, you should already know how they are.
Yeah.
So why would you think that they wouldn't be like that with you? Just because you're his cash cow, he's not gonna let you go. Yeah. He'll let you make your own entity under his. And do it that way. So see, now that's where he fucked up, because where he should have separated his business completely and did it on his own, now he has to go through the parent company, and that's fucking his shit up right now. And that's the biggest issue. He should have created his own brands and kind of partnered with Baby, as opposed to kind of going underneath him in that way. He had enough money to do it, but he, you know, it's family, it's for the love. But at the end of the day, see what your family is doing to you. People closest to you will be the ones that hurt you hardest.
If did anybody in the room read The Big Payback? The book about hip-hop business, how hip-hop became a business?
Yes, I skimmed like the first half of it, that book, and the other one. All
right, if you're a rapper and you want to understand how the business works and how the business evolved, read The Big Payback, because they do a whole chapter about Cash Money. And Wendy Day is a person who was a lawyer, who was a rap fan, who hated how rappers' contracts look. So she basically did, like, she would charge you 10% and then set up your contract. So she did that with Cash Money for the Universal contract. So the deal was $30 million. She was supposed to get $3 million, and very clean cut. She wasn't going to get any masters or any royalties or nothing like that. It took her 8 years to get that $3 million, and like, she's a lawyer, so you got to imagine.
Yeah, and because, you know, honestly speaking, there's a lot of dirty money in that business. So they're trying to hide that, and I'm sure they have really high-powered lawyers trying to bury stuff. At the same time, you see how they blackballed Juvenile when he dropped from there. Yeah. Manny Fresh is a DJ right now, doing clubs and stuff like that, when he was actually a part of it and making money at the time, too.
One of the most talented producers.
Right. Yes. So if you see those people, and like I said, he's like a father to blah, 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 but at the end of the day, he set up his contract from the day he signed as a business. He wasn't thinking about how close he was to you. He was thinking about what his cut was going to be.
Wayne was a baby when, you know.
Yeah, was he like 16?
He was younger
12.
than that. He was 12. He was 12. He was ghostwriting.
Right.
And then eventually, but so you got to realize he was groomed.
Okay.
he was groomed to think a certain way. So it's not necessarily like you're coming in a situation like, well, you see all your friends alienated, and it's like, well, no. We'll take it. We're even going to do an album stunting like my daddy. It's weird the timing of it though, because now you bring along Young Thug, who's like Wayne 2.0.
True.
And then
you guys seen that meme on Instagram where it's Young Thug and it says, I'm a Birdman's child now. I'm Birdman's son.
Yeah, it's filthy. The internet is so messed up.
Oh, like, man, they will trash you to the.
A lot of messed up things.
Yeah, you would be a meme and not even know it.
Yeah.
You going to work and everybody just laughing and you just thinking my cologne must be killing it today. No, you're a meme. But I think Wayne will be fine because he's a brand.
Yeah, he'll be fine. Yeah. But he has the problem with Wayne now is he's spoiled. He's like a little baby right now. He's crying.
And he's at the end of his career. So
right.
You kind of have to.
So it's kind of like you either need to branch off or just collect your royalties and call it a day. I understand you want people to release an album, but you know, whatever contract he signed, he better just do whatever albums. They could be trashy albums. It doesn't matter. Just get the contract done, and then to sell your stuff independently. If you want, he probably doesn't even want to do it for the money. He probably wants to do it for the love of the music because he's got royalties from all his other albums that did so much better. But the fact of the matter is, he probably signed a deal where it's like he has to do 12 albums, and he's like at 5. So he's like, fuck. So nigga, you better start releasing some EPs and LPs and get it done.
Pull a Drake.
Right.
Like what is it officially an album? If you're reading this shit too late, is it officially an album?
That's the thing. The details say that it's considered a mixtape as the same level as So Far Gone is. Yeah. But they're counting it on his record on iTunes as an EP. Right. Because the official album release had to come from Cash Money. Right. Technically, this is a release through October's very own.
Okay.
And
his own.
And then the crazy.
He has one left on his deal, right?
Yeah. A lot of people are thinking this
Drake,
was it.
Drake tried to jail. He tried to break out of jail.
He tried to find his way out.
Get your jail free card.
Salute Aubrey, which was fire. The project was fire. I can't even front.
But it's crazy because it's like, when he did that, he should have thought about, you know what I'm saying, like when you're releasing these albums and you signing anything, it doesn't matter if your mama gave you the contract, read your shit before you commit to something. Because what he's trying to do, I think he was trying to position himself to release everything under Young Money, and you can't do that if you still have a deal with the parent company.
The thing is with Cash Money is they never honor their contracts. Right. It's like literally the producer on the Carter 3, Bangladesh, he has a good team. He had a good lawyer. He's supposed to get royalty points off the album. They never paid him the royalties, and he had to sue them. And it's like one of those things where Cash Money, because they're hot
right now.
Well, they've always. But the thing is, I will say this about Birdman is that he survived a lot longer than the other rapping CEOs.
Yeah.
From like, he definitely has.
Like Master P isn't really doing it.
No.
Puff does the vodka thing.
Every once in a while.
Jay has a couple of people in the game, but isn't really a ship like
that. He's surviving through, like Young Money, basically the new raw talent right now, because they wasn't even like up in the north like that when Cash Money first came about. They were down south doing the down south thing, and it's unfortunate.
I think they call him Birdman because he's a predator. he's a falcon out here. Like you go and grab Young Thug who has singles that you can put in the booth and will give you a hit. You go grab Rich Homie Quan, but now that's Rich Gang.
Right.
Man, listen.
All I'm going to say is this: the power of
we found a new boo.
Right.
The power of the major is there. Young Thug had his little buzz here and there. Next thing you know, he's featured on a T.I. song. 3 major hits. 3 of the 10 major hits that hit the top rap hip hop charts in the past 3 years. Past 3 months. Young Thug is featured on it.
You can't get rid of it. Right. You can't get rid of it.
You know what? I think Wayne should do that because he was a feature king for like 2 years at one point in time.
And so was Drake.
Right.
But you have a window that's open but so long.
Right.
Because Wayne was in that conversation of the best rapper out. A million vagina eating bars later, it's like, you hear Wayne, and I was listening to the song with the Used To drink with him and Drake, and it was just like, all right, Drake got off, and I'm listening to Wayne, and it's basically a countdown. So he tell us like how he ate the cat, and it's like, come on, dude, like you're better than this. We need that Carter 2 Wayne. We need that hustler, but that window closes. And there's always going to be somebody hotter. So I think Wayne is kind of, you face immortality. You 32, 16 years in. You can't do this forever.
Very true. Jimmy, I want your honest opinion. Seeing how the business is going now, as someone like Lil Wayne, do you see yourself in that position eventually where you put out the albums and put out the music and get on, where you eventually have other artists that you'll put on that you can live off of? Or you feel like...
I mean, honestly, the thing is, I've had this... I have great friends that are very talented. They honestly, the biggest issue with a lot of my homies is they don't have the discipline. They won't show up to places. They won't come.
I've been there, brother.
You can, you book the studio time. They don't come through. You get the interview set up. They don't. They got something that comes through. So that's the biggest thing for me right now is all my friends are dope. And honestly, some of my friends I think are better MCs than me, but they don't got the drive and they don't show up places. They don't do the business part, and it's like you either got to have somebody that believes in you so much that they're going to do all that for you, but then you're going to get screwed over at the end.
Right.
But like for me, I would like to be in a situation where I could put my friends on and then also find people that I think do that thing of like being a Prodigy or being a Scarface, like finding somebody who's going to be a legend in the making, who's going to make meaningful music that's going to impact people. I'd like to do that. but you know, it's gonna be based on what my situation is.
Right.
You know, like you can't, like the thing when the plane crashes, they always tell you put your mask on first before you try to put it on someone else.
Right.
You know, so that
save yourself first.
Yeah, very true, very true. Jim, before you go, where's all your social networks so you can find your music?
all right.
Find
So I basically, anytime there's a social media thing that pops off, I try to claim it as quick as I can. Everything is Jimmy ValenTime. It's JIMMY ValenTime. So you find me on Instagram, you find me on SoundCloud, Twitter, YouTube. You can Google, if you just Google Jimmy ValenTime rapper, I'm gonna be the one that pops up.
which is dope. And this one key thing I'm gonna throw in here, just give you a quick laugh. Shout out to esteemed station manager who stated that what Wade should do is turn himself into a symbol like Prince, and he'll be all right.
Just,
my God.
one last thing, and this will be an exclusive for the radio station. So the album that from the 2 songs that you guys heard is Better Luck Tomorrow, and that's coming mid-April. And
Wow.
Better Luck Tomorrow basically just means to keep trying, keep aspiring, keep reaching for what you want.
Dope.
You gotta send that information to us so we can put it on the page.
Right away. Oh, when's your next performance?
It'll be the Famous in Bushwick, which will be the first Friday in March. I'll also be at RDBX opening for Rod Digger.
Dope.
Dope.
Okay, send that information to me so I'll make sure I put it on the website.
Dope.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's been Jimmy ValenTime. Thank you, brother,
Thank
for
you
coming
for
on.
coming.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And for being the first artist to perform live on radio.
I know. You gotta send us
First
a
live
With
performance.
the 2 best hype men in the business
Word.
behind you.
Fire. Yo, next performance we on, all right?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I want a verse too.
I'll clear my schedule up.
I'm in there.
We in there? All right, cool.
I'm gonna scratch it in and out.
and I'm gonna work the camera like I did last time. We all got a job.
We all got a job.
We your strong team right here.
Right here. You don't need nobody else. We got you right here.
We got the
Rap
drop.
Games 18.
Fact.
But we do have some Voices premieres to get into this week. Quite a few Voices premieres to get into. I have to get into this first one now. Tonight's Voices premiere is brought to you by the homie Primo. His new mixtape, Out of Nowhere 2, featuring the hits New York City and Stand Up, out now. tinyurl.com/preem, the letter O twice, N2. DJ Mastermind, do you see that Daz She Ready? Shout out to the homie Daz. He had dropped this signal off to not only myself, but Rise to Glory, another show that comes on the station. That's on Tuesdays, if I'm not mistaken, 5 to 7. Correct me if I'm wrong. 6 to 8 on Tuesdays on FLOEmpireRadio.com. So you get it. You got it twice, brother. You're on 2 shows right now, FLO. This is She's Ready, the voice premiere tonight. Let's go.
Oh, we gotta take a picture.
Gotta get it right, girl. But we only here for the night, girl. She said she on and she ready. She ready? So I gotta get it right, girl. Texting my phone like you ready. You ready? That's a fact. But we only here for the night, girl. You'll be a fool if you let me. You let me? Slide away like it's ice, girl. I was born wooed up and ready. I'm ready. We cash out, fuck the price, girl. Bitch, I'm wooskin', in my life like a movie. Catch me up in VIP with only bottles and groupies. Bitch, I do it, cause I do it in that Wu Shang tuck. Cause they heard we the movement. Yeah, they hatin', won't keep hating. Cause I got a bad bitch, I would hate to keep waiting. So we leaving, yeah, we leaving. First, I gotta thank God, cause that ass is the reason. Then I beat it up, freak it up, then I leave her stuck. Wait. Just for the night, don't even leave your stuff. And I left right, let me see you take it left right. Fuckin' with a woo is guaranteed to be the best night. All up in her front end, telling her what the sex like, but won't even reply when you hit me up the next night. She stressed like, but I'm going in my next life. Tryna check a bag, show these niggas what the steps like. She said she on and she ready. She ready? So I gotta get it right, girl. Texting my phone like you ready. You ready? But we only here for the night, girl. You'll be a fool if you let me. You let me? Slide away like it's ice, girl. I was born wooed up and ready. I'm ready. We cashed out, fuck the price, girl. She said she on and she ready. She ready. She ready. So I gotta get it right.